Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to this webinar. It's exactly 11 a.m. by my time. Please, if you can hear me, drop an emoji in the chat box so I would know you can hear me and I'm not talking to myself. So if you can hear me, please drop your favorite emojis. Hey, I'm being heard. Thank you. Thank you. I can see the emojis flying everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, so it's 11:01 right now. So I think we should give at least 4 more minutes to leave room for others to join in. So we will be kickstarting at exactly 11:05. So if you know someone that needs to be here and is not here, please do well to reach out to the person. And if you haven't already shared this on your platforms, please do well to share it. Right, the webinar is open to everyone. So please do well to share. So we'll be kickstarting at exactly 11:05. So while we await others to join in, feel free to make use of the chat box, tell us where you have joined us from, and maybe your expectations on today's webinar. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm just getting the feedback now that the chat box is disabled. Please give us a moment. We will resolve this shortly, okay? Please give us a moment. We're resolving this now. Thank you. I'm not.
You wanted to you're in a meeting and you call.
Okay. Good morning once again, everyone, and sincere apologies. We got a feedback that you all were unable to type as the chat box has been disabled. We're trying to resolve this, but so as not to take much of our time, would love to begin. So um, apologies, but this will be resolved. We'll still work on the chat box for you all to be able to drop your chat and all. So yes, it's 11:16. I apologize once more, and officially, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from, business queens, and maybe a few gentlemen, and welcome to another She Ventures webinar. So my name is Mercy Nanklin Damar, and I am delighted to be your moderator for today's session. So sincerely, on behalf of the She Ventures team, I want to say a very big thank you and welcome to everyone for joining us today. So for those who may be joining us for the very first time, this is She Ventures, and it is FCMB's initiative focused on empowering women entrepreneurs with access to finance, knowledge, networks, and markets. Yewande will definitely do justice to it during her session. So today we have two amazing speakers with us. The first speaker would focus on understanding the opportunities available to you through She Ventures, while the second speaker will be focused on understanding how to position your business to successfully pursue grants, investors, and other funding opportunities. All right, so before we begin, let's be honest. How many of us have ever had the opportunity to talk about our businesses and then suddenly we realize we didn't know where to start? And this is not even because you don't know your business. Of course, you know your business, you know your product, you know your customers, you know how hard you have worked to build it. But the moment someone says, "Tell me about your business," you suddenly become speechless and begin to wonder, where do I start from? Well, that is exactly why today's conversation is very important because it is not just enough to have a good business per se. Being able to communicate the value of that business is as well very, very important. Okay, so let's go over a few ground rules before we bring up our first speaker. So, number one, your microphone would remain muted unless you are invited to speak. And this is to actually avoid distractions. Secondly, feel free to drop your questions, okay, in the chat box when we've resolved the issue. So for now, you make use of the raise hand emoji when it's time for questions so we can unmute you for you to be able to speak. But once we've resolved the chat box issue, you can drop your questions in the chat box. However, there's a question part to the chat box where you can still drop your questions and we would pick the questions from there and respond to them. Then please stay with us until the end of the sessions because all questions will be taken after both speakers have spoken. All right, so the first speaker would speak, the second speaker will speak, then we give room to questions and answers. Then finally, participate. Please participate. All right, let's go into the business of the day. Okay, so our first speaker is our very own beautiful, graceful, and delectable Yewande Bello. Right, she's not a new person to most of us here. If you know She Ventures very well, then you know Yewande. I call her the face of She Ventures. All right, as I said in our last webinar, she's one person that is very passionate about She Ventures. She literally carries She Ventures on her head. So she's our marketing and community engagement manager. So she will be taking us through She Ventures, what we do, the opportunities available to women entrepreneurs, and how our proposition can support your business journey. So business queens, sadly, we can't make use of the chat box. But I encourage you all to listen carefully, take notes of the opportunities that may be relevant. So I don't know, let's just make use of our emojis. Let's react since we can't chat with your most exciting, your most favorite emoji reactions. Please let's make welcome to Delectable Year One Day below.
Mercy, thank you so much for all the flattering.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's a delight to be here again to another edition of our She Ventures webinar. I'm delighted to have you all join us today. And firstly, I'd like to warmly welcome our moderator as well, our distinguished second speaker, and all our participants who have taken their time to be here today. A special welcome to those who are joining us for the first time, particularly our new to bank customers who have just recently signed up on the FCMB. We're excited to have you be part of the FCMB family. I will look forward to supporting you and your business journey. Today's session is particularly important because, like Messi said, we'll be looking at how entrepreneurs can position and present their businesses effectively when seeking opportunities such as funding, grants, and investment. A couple of times, I always say, okay, so.
So sorry, Yewande, to interrupt you. Please, can you try using the chat box? I think the issue has been resolved. Please drop something in the chat box. Let's be sure it has been resolved to make this as engaging as possible. Sorry to interrupt you, Yewande.
That's fine.
Oh, thank God. All right. Please go on. You have the floor, Yewande. Sorry.
Okay, so as I was saying, there's the saying that they always say, have your 5 minute speech ready, right? So we have a great speaker who will be taking us through the pitch aspect of this. And so I encourage everyone to stay engaged and take away as much as possible from this session. So before we get into that, I would just like to take a moment to talk about the importance of women-owned or women-managed or led businesses to our economy. I hope you know that you're very special and very important to this economy because we play an increasingly significant role in Nigeria's business landscape, right? From small businesses operating within our communities to growing enterprises who are creating jobs and contributing to the local and international market. You all, women entrepreneurs, are driving economic activity day in, day out, every day. We also like to just recognize that women owned or led businesses also face challenges disregarding access to finance, markets, networks, even knowledge, financial literacy, and the right business support. And this is where FCMB's commitment to women entrepreneurs comes in, right? So at FCMB, we believe that supporting women in businesses goes just beyond simply providing access or funding. We also provide an ecosystem that helps you to grow your business, scale, and sustain, right? Um, so the thinking behind She Ventures was birthed because of this constraint, right? So I'll just go straight into what She Ventures is about. We're a dedicated desk that is positioned to design support for women-owned or women-led or managed businesses across 4 key areas. So, okay, maybe I should just share my slide. Hold on, please. Okay, why don't I have the sharing rights? Okay. Confirm that you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Like I said, She Ventures is FCMB's flagship product for women in business initiative, and we provide tailored solutions through our financial and non-financial services to women-owned or managed businesses, and we help them scale and sustain their business. Right? We do this based on 4 pillars. Our first is access to finance, and that speaks to the financial bits that we do. The other is access to knowledge, access to network, and access to markets. And this speaks to our non-financial services. So how do we classify a business as a She Ventures woman, right? So the first is entrepreneurship and ownership. So if a woman owns the business, it's a no-brainer that um, it's categorized as a She Ventures account, and she can benefit from all the product offerings that we have, right? The other one is executive leadership. So for a case where you have a man and a woman running a business together, or peradventure it's even a man that owns the business, but he wants to benefit from all the offerings that She Ventures have. So it can either do two things. One would be to put her in leadership position, so make her the MD or the CEO of the business, and then by proxy, he can benefit from all the products offerings that She Ventures have. The second would be that if he's not comfortable with making her the MD, because you can say, tomorrow you might decide not to pay my salary. I'm not letting you make decisions for me. Just be from sitting at the back end and watch what we're doing. I will give you 50% shares in this business. By virtue of that as well, he can benefit from what we do. So either she's the MD or CEO with backing documents, right? So that will be the board resolution and the appointment letter that says that this person was appointed as the MD at so day by this company. The other would be shares allotment. So she must have at least 50% shares in the business, and then the business can benefit from us. Hence why you have women owned or managed. The other is board representation. So if it's a limited liability company and they have 30% of their board members as female executives, they can benefit from that as well. The other would be work employment. So again, you have all these other criteria when it's not a woman that solely owns the business. Please take note. If it's a woman that owns the business, you don't need to stress yourself on these other criteria. In terms of workforce, so if 30% or higher, or more than 30% of the full staff in an organization is employed, you can bring the case forward to say, I'm very gender inclusive in my organization. This is a man, for instance, now. I'm very gender inclusive. I have 30% of my staff, full staff, not contract staff now, as females. I would like to benefit this type of loan, for instance, because this loans comes at very cheaper rates for women, and he can be able to benefit from that. And of course, this will be providing employment letters and just showing that yes, these people have been employed and they are of the female gender. And the last one would be in terms of product and services. Um, for someone who manufactures or produces products that are tailored specifically to only the needs of a woman, or if it might be a service that you render and it's tailored to the needs of only a woman. If you have to think too much about the product, then there's no point bringing it. So example will be if, for example, I'm a man. If I'm a woman, then I don't need to prove anything that owns the business. Of course, my CAC certificate would show that. But if I'm a man now and I don't have a woman as my MD or my CEO, and she doesn't have 50% shares, and my employees are not female, 30% of the representation of my staff are not up to 30. But the products that I make, for example, I own a factory and I want to manufacture sanitary pad. Everybody knows that it's only women that does their monthly cycle. So I'm not thinking too much about the product. I can bring the case forward to say, oh, I need to buy a machinery that would enable me produce more sanitary pad to be able to help the um, female community on their monthly cycle. By proxy, I would be able to listen to such company. Or it could be a service render, maybe for instance, a gynecologist, and she needs to buy, or he needs to buy an equipment in the hospital. They can also bring the case forward. So these are all the criteria that we use in classifying a woman business to fall under the she ventures or not. So we've had scenarios where men will say, what about us women? We are very partial. We are this. I'm happy to let you know that if you have a woman included in your business as the MD, CEO, or she has 50% shares, you can also benefit from what we do. So for our financial services, and of course that will speak to our loans, we have our flagship product called the zero interest loan. As the name implies, it is zero interest, but please, this is not a walk into the bank loan. So I can't decide to just access the zero interest loan today, even if I wanted to. We do this only 2 times in a year. First half of the year, which is between January to June, and second half of the year between July and December. So by our calculation, you will realize that we already had done the first half of the year and we are planning for the second half of the year. So what are the criteria for us to be able to be eligible for the zero interest loan? So the first one would be the classification that I had just spoken about. So the being a woman-owned or led business, you must be registered because we are solely focused on SMEs, right? You must have opened a corporate account with FCMB and run the account for at least 6 months, right? And the essence of this is because the loan is non-collateralized. It doesn't require any form of interest. There are no fees charged. We need to ensure that the business that we are giving this loan to is viable enough to pay back. So does daily transactions, and we can see it in your books that you do daily sales or you're able to pay back. So that's why the 6 month caveat is there. Why was the zero interest loan introduced? Naturally, women are very risk adverse when it comes to loans. Myself, I don't even like loans because I like to sleep well. And there's no disrespect to the men here. Women are better borrowers. We have done the zero interest loan for 7 years now, and I'm very happy to tell you that we have zero NPLs, right? For the zero interest loan, we have two streams: the general sector that happens in the first half of the year, and the customer is able to get between 500,000 naira and 5 million naira. It's for 4 months, and there's a 1 month moratorium inclusive. Whatever sector you are in, you can apply for this, whether you're in fashion, education, health, beauty, trading, hospitality, whatever sector that you're in, you can apply for the general sector that happens between January and June. For the sector specific variant, this happens between July and December. That's the second half of the year, the one that we're about to roll out. And the customer is able to get between 5 million and 10 million, right? The tenure is 6 months. However, for the second half, for this sector specific, we only focus on women in agri, women who are doing export the proper way, women who are in the education sector, women who are in the health sector, and general commerce. So those, if you belong to one of these 5 sectors, you have a better chance for the second stream of the zero interest loan. Please note that there are no fees charged. There is no interest. Please, and I'm sure we are good people here. We don't tell you that you should come and pay a certain percentage or you have to pay for one thing for you to be able to access the zero interest loan. We send out call for applications when the time is right, and customers apply, and there's a system-based selection that is done. So there is no man, no man. You can't call me to say, please, I want to access. Even if it was open to us doing the selection, I will bring all my aunties. Mercy too will bring all her aunties. everybody on the team will be putting who they know. So it's beyond She Ventures. It's system. So it's like a raffle selection basically. And if you're selected, there's a 3 days training that we also, because we're very big on knowledge, that we do for those beneficiaries before the loan is now finally disbursed. And the training is to guide you and with a lot of financial literacy training, so that you're also using the money for what you have been given it for the purpose. The other type of loans that we have is the gender loans. We call them gender loans because they come at cheaper rates than the normal commercial rates, right? Um, However, these loans are collateralized, so you need some sort of collateral to be able to access it. Um, we have the pricing between, sorry, that's is 22 to 25% now, inclusive of all fees and charges, right? The tenor is up to 3 years, and you can get up to 1.2 billion. Of course, this will be dependent on the customer's cash flow or turnover. You can't be making 100 million naira and then you come to the bank and say you want to take 500 million. I mean, it's not possible. So for you to be able to access even 500 million naira in loans, you should be doing up to 800 million or 1 billion naira, and then the bank providing a collateral, and then of course the bank will be at comfort to loan you, given that you meet all other loan requirements, right? So the gender loans come at concessionary rates, and if you go to the bank, normal bank rate is about 35% or even 38, but by proxy of being a She Ventures customer, you can get loans as cheap as 22 to 25%. Sorry, that's a mistake. We also have something called RSS, Risk Sharing Scheme. And what that does is, because we also realize that women do not have access to collaterals, right? Um, we we use this RSS as some form of cover, guarantee cover, for you to be able to cover up for the shortfall of your collateral requirements. So, for example, if I'm to take a loan of 10 million, right? The bank will not take collateral that is worth 10 million. They will ask me to bring collateral that is worth about 15 to 20 million because of false sale value. And the fact that when I'm paying back the money, interest would have even accrued on it. And if I take 10 million naira worth of collateral, I would be at loss. So it's just reasonable that you take almost times two of um, in collateral worth for the loan that you're taking. So if I'm taking a 10 million naira loan, I'm supposed to provide collateral of, let's say, 20 million, right? And the collateral that I have is worth 3 million or 4 million, right? Which is about 40% of that. I can come to the bank to say, oh, I need 10 million naira. I don't have 20 million naira worth of collateral, but the collateral I have is worth maybe 5 million, for example. Can I use the RSS as backup, as a cover, right? Then the bank will provide the shortfall of the 50 million naira cover for me, but then it comes at a charge of 1.5% for women owned or led businesses. So for She Ventures customers. So that's what the RSS does. Is a guarantee cover that ensures that women are able to take up loans even though they don't have the full collateral requirements. So that's what we do. So that's it for our financial services. For our non-financial services, we're very big on the access to knowledge. We're very big on mentorship, capacity building programs, trainings, workshops. We partner with women established organizations as well to help us facilitate these trainings. We have trained over 2,000 women in mentorship for capacity building programs. We've done over 5,000, if counting up till this year, right? We also know that women have time poverty. Before you take care of your family, before you take care of the house, your business, even yourself, there's no time to do anything. I mean, these days, women are coming out more, unlike back in the day. For men, it's easy for them. You can decide to close after work and meet with your guy. a guy meets me at this pub club. It's not like they're going to drink themselves away. They close big deals at this meetup, right? He doesn't need to worry about whether there will be food in the house or there will be the house that have been cleaned, because he knows that a woman would have probably taken care of that for him. But women are just wired to think about things at the same time. If I go out, what will happen to this one? A man can make the decision. Okay, don't worry. They didn't plan it, oh, but a woman will say, why did you tell me 2 weeks ago? You would have told me now. I need to call somebody to come and stay with Chukwemeka. I need to put this in place. But at She Ventures, we make it very imperative that at least twice in a year, we organize networking events for our women to come, network, meet with female business entrepreneurs like themselves, industry experts, business experts, have fun. It's usually a very chilled, relaxed kind of setting. But we also know that a lot of our female entrepreneurs have products or services that they want to render or want to make known. So we sort of infuse our access to market into our networking events. So if you have ever attended any of our networking events on this webinar, you would realize that we always have vendor booths um, located in strategic position in the hall. And what this vendor booth do, give it to our customers for free. They display their products or their services. So what you're doing is you're not just networking, having fun, you're also trying to make money, right? So yes, so that's it for our networking event. We try to do this twice in a year. The last one we had this year was towards our IWD, and it was a very, very inspiring event. It was called the pitch party actually. And what we did was to get women pitch their businesses, and we got three winners win grants. We also had a fashion runway. So we realized that we have a lot of female entrepreneurs who are in the fashion space doing amazing stuff, but they are not known. So what we did was to do a fashion runway, get them to showcase their products with models. We brought in celebrity judges who are also in the fashion space to see their work, encourage them, give them words of advice. And we also had vendor booths, and we had about 60 entrepreneurs get the vendor booths. And these vendor booths come at no charge, they're usually free. It was a very inspiring event, and I'm sure if you're also here on the webinar, you would agree with me that it was an experience that will never be forgotten. For access to markets, we ensure that we expose our customers beyond the shores of the local. So we ensure that we also make them global. Last year, we partnered with a, a very big women community called the BFAB. What she does is to do fairs twice in a year, in April and in December. Each each store cost about 250,000 naira, and we provided 100 slots for our customers. And even women in her community who do not even have FCMB accounts got their price slashed, right? We did that in April and in December. We also took it a step further, taking it internationally. We partnered with the Ibukan Oshika Foundation last year in November, and we took 5 of our customers to Dubai for an exhibition called the African Marketplace. Um, I'm sure you'll be wondering how we did our selection. We were very strategic. So what we did was to take someone from the fashion industry, someone from the tech space, someone from real estate, someone from general commerce, and someone from the agri space. We took all this, and it's just important that you always run your accounts properly, because these are the criteria that we will use to select. We won't just say, because I know this person, let me put her in this thing. And we don't even do the selection. The branches or your account officers are the ones who relate more with you. And what we do is to ask, give us the top XYZ customers in your books in this particular sectors. And we selected based on that. I had never even met any of those customers that went to Dubai. And we had even some of them come from Kaduna, some from the East. And in fact, there was no Yoruba person in this in our selection because some people said, I know you people did your selection. Is Yoruba people that you took, is a Yoruba bank. It was at that point I realized that, oh come, there's actually no Yoruba person that we took on this trip. And it's just to say that SMB is very passionate and very transparent when it comes to just doing what they do. And it's just based also on our values. Yes, so that's what we basically do at She Ventures. Um, Here's a snapshot of our 2025 impact review. We've disbursed over 51 billion in loans. For mentorship was 250. Access to knowledge 1,000 plus. So this would include our capacity building programs. In fact, it's like I said, it's about 5,000 because we had been doing this since 2023, and we have been going around Nigeria to. We've been touching every state. We recently just came back from the north and Kaduna to be precise, and we had two major events there. One was the close networking workshop and then the market activation. And it was just very inspiring to see that lots of women are really willing to scale and just make impact in the economy. So that's what we basically do at She Ventures. So I would wrap up here. This is time for questions. I don't know, Mercy, are we asking questions now or just wait till the end of the session? So I hope I have been able to convince and not confuse you that if you also have a business entrepreneur that's not part of the She Ventures, you need to bring them here now. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Yewande, for that insightful session. Really, it is always such a delight hearing you speak. Your voice is so soothing to the ear. I literally could hear you speak all day long. Thank you so much, Yeri. And to our business queens out there, I hope you are taking notes because there is a lot within the She Ventures proposition that can support your entrepreneurial journey, to be honest. And do not forget to jot down your questions. We will take them after the second speaker. Oh, so now we're moving from understanding the opportunities to understanding how to position ourselves for these opportunities when they present themselves. So, because knowing that funding exists is one thing, because She Ventures already has given you the idea that funding exists. But then being able to successfully present your business for that funding is another thing. And that is what this second session is about. And our topic today is Pitching Perfect, winning proposals for brands and investors. All right. And I believe that this is one session every entrepreneur should actually pay attention to. Because in this session, we will be looking at how to communicate our businesses clearly, confidently, and compellingly. So we'll get to understand what makes a pitch compelling, what investors and sponsors look out for, how to communicate your business value, what you should include in a short pitch, and common pitching mistakes we make. And we are privileged to have with us someone who is quite an expert in that field, the magnificent Deborah Boniface. But permit me to read her profile to you. And while I am at it, I will just leave you with a question, all right? So if you were given 3 minutes to pitch your business right now, would you be ready? So it's just a yes or no question. So I'll go over the question again. If you were given 3 minutes to pitch your business right now, would you be ready? Do you know the right things to say? Do you know what investors would be looking out for? Be honest with your question. That's the essence of this session, actually. So permit me to share my screen so we can go over Deborah's profile. Please hold on. Trying to share my screen. Okay. So our speakers today are very beautiful. See Madam Deborah. All right, let me get back to business. All right, Deborah Oluchi Boniface is a development and impact professional with leadership experience in inclusive finance, gender smart investing, strategic partnerships, and institutional capacity building. She currently serves as Partnerships and Programs Manager, She Ventures by FCMB, where she leads the development of strategic partnerships, entrepreneurship programs, and ecosystem initiatives designed to empower women-owned businesses with access to finance, capacity building, mentorship, market opportunities, and business growth support. She has worked across programs that strengthen investment readiness, organizational systems, and workforce capability with a strong focus on gender equality, youth inclusion, and sustainable enterprise growth. Deborah brings a strategic, execution driven approach to designing and delivering high impact training, stakeholder engagement, partnerships, and ecosystem level interventions that create measurable social and economic impact. Deborah holds an international certification in human resource management from Rome Business School and continues to deepen her expertise at the intersection of people strategy, organizational development, governance, and impact driven leadership. She is passionate about building resilient institutions, empowering entrepreneurs, and creating opportunities that drive inclusive economic growth and social transformation. All right. So if you are ready for Deborah, if you are ready for this power packed speaker, please comment ready in the comments section. Use the chat box, comment ready. I need to see a couple of readies before I bring her up. Oh. Okay, okay. All right. Oh, Deborah has already unveiled herself. All right, Deborah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Amiefu Mercy. And I'm also going to say thank you to Ms. Yewande for that awesome presentation on what She Ventures is about and what we offer. I'm also part of She Ventures. And yes, there's another person that carries She Ventures on her head. I think I also do. Not I think, I also do. Thank you so much. Thank you for that amazing introduction. Thank you all so much. I can feel the readiness from here. The energy is strong. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm delighted to have this conversation with you today because we're talking about something that can genuinely determine whether a business opportunity is noticed, funded, or completely overlooked. So for your business to see the lamplight, be in the faces of the investors, stay with the investors and move to the next stage. Your pitch is what makes it happen. And we're going to learn how that is going to play out today. So confirm that you can see my screen. Kindly give me a moment to ensure that everyone is seeing my screen, please. Okay, so please confirm that you can see my slide now. Can you see it? So our topic today is Pitch Perfect, winning proposals for grants and investors. There are many entrepreneurs that have good businesses, they have good ideas. Many are solving real problems. You'd be amazed to hear from some entrepreneurs what problems they're solving with their businesses. But you also wonder why is it that you had not heard about it, not to talk of an investor or them having an opportunity to meet grantors that would give them grants for their businesses. But the thing is, having a good business and being able to communicate the value of that business are two different things. You should be able to communicate what it is that you're doing, not just that you have it in your head that you're doing this business. So if somebody meets you, and of course, you don't really know who you meet on a daily basis. So you should always be ready, not just, having the mindset that you're a CEO or that you're, in charge of your business or whatever. You should be able to communicate what you believe and what you know about your business to the next person. And that is what we're going to be looking at today. You may know exactly why your business deserves money or deserves funding, but the question is, can you make someone else see it? The idea of this webinar today is to be able to make someone else see the fact that you need funding for your business. Except there are people here who don't need funding for their businesses. Maybe you'd give me your address. I would need to come see you and then, come up with my own pitch so that you can give me money. But if you know you need money for your business, then you're at the right place. By the end of today, you'll be able to see for yourself how a well-told pitch channels minds. You know, Pitching is like evangelism. I see it like evangelism. If you want someone to, you know, become a changed person, depending on your religion, it means that whatever message that you're giving to that person has got to be very compelling, very real and genuine. The person has got to know that he or she needs to, change from whatever life that they're living and then become who you want them to be. So today you're going to know how you're going to be able to pitch. You will know what investors are looking for. Some of us don't know what investors are looking for. You think everybody, will just listen to you and give you their money. No, you would understand what investors are looking for. The mistakes that can cost you the deal, all of those warning signs, you would know them today. You would also know how to pitch, the kind of pitch that works, the key slides, the story that ties them together, what grant givers also look for. So we are looking at how you can win, how your proposals can win the attention of an investor and a grant giver. So you would know what a grant giver is looking out for. You would also know how to practice. We'll do a live challenge. So get ready. I will need about 3 people to volunteer. You're going to um, give us a live challenge, a live pitch of their businesses, and then we'll move over to questions. Are we ready? Okay, so just so that for starters, so that we get ourselves ready for this session, I have 2 entrepreneurs here, or an entrepreneur that has the same business, who had pitched at different times for their businesses, and we are all going to be the judge for this. Imagine that you're the one that is the Dangote, you're the one that is the investor that has the money. The first person comes to you and says, ABC Foods, an exciting food company that started in 2022. We care deeply about giving people good products and we are looking for money to grow. And then the second person comes again, the same business, and says, over 4,000 working women in our community cannot find affordable, healthy meals during the workday. ABC Foods already feeds 600 of them every month, and 68 out of every 100 come back to buy again. We are asking for 15 million naira to make more food and reach 3,000 customers within 12 months. Please tell me, which of them will you give your money? Which of them will you give your money? I am very sure you're not going to be biased here. Are you going to give the first person or you're going to give the second person your money? I'm sure we already know the answers. Miss, I hope they're responding. Okay, the second person. Awesome. So now we understand where we are going to. So what does pitching mean? What does pitching mean? A lot of us do not even know before now what pitching is about. And so we are going to understand what pitching is. So let's make it, let's not make it complicated, you know. A pitch is simply your ability to explain your business clearly enough. I have a definition here, but I'm trying to break it down. My definition here says a pitch is a short, clear explanation of your business that is told to someone who could help you with money, time, or support so that they can understand it quickly and want to say yes. Remember, I said it is a short, it is not a long story. You're not giving a speech. It has to be short, clearly enough. It has to be very explanatory. In that even short time, it has to be clear what you're doing, you know, so that whoever it is that is listening, whether they want to offer you money or their time or their support, they would be able to understand quickly. Not that they're asking you over and over again, they are lost, you're confused. What is it that you're doing? No, your pitch should be able to explain your business clearly enough so that somebody understands the opportunity and wants to take the next step with you. It is not a whole business plan. In case you're thinking, oh, I have a business plan. If somebody calls me now, I'll bring up my whole business plan. It is not a whole business plan, please. A pitch is a short version of that business plan that you have, a very short summary, just enough to make someone want to hear more. So imagine that you see somebody and you say, oh, would you like to have a biscuit that doesn't have sugar but has ginger and has clove and can give you all the nutrients that you want? And the person say, really? You say, don't worry, follow me. I will show you. You know, that kind of thing that catches somebody's attention. That's how you pitch your business. It can be spoken, written, or shown. The whole idea is that it is a it can be a conversation, an email, a phone video, or a slide presentation. It can that you can call a pitch. So these are things that you can make a pitch. And then it always has one goal. Pitching always has one goal: to move the listener from knowing you to saying yes to a next step or a meeting. Or the next step could be, oh, writing you a check. The next step could also be partnership, because sometimes not all pitches will land you to, you know, the points where somebody gives you a check. Your pitch could land you into a partnership with a business owner who likes to just bring you on board, work together with him or her, understand better how you work, and then they now say, oh, now I understand who you are, understand what you do, so let's move to the next step. So a pitch takes you from one stage to another stage. If your pitch cannot take you to one stage, not to talk of the second, then, my dear, you still have to go back to the drawing board. I hope you understand what a pitch is now. So I'll move to the next slide. Types of pitching. Types of pitching. Like my colleague rightly said, today you're going to understand the types of pitching that we have. So the same business can be pitched in different ways. Your business can be pitched in different ways. Knowing which one you're in changes what you say and how long you have to say it. The first on my list is the elevator pitch. I don't know if anybody has heard about the elevator pitch. If you haven't, or you're just hearing it for the first time, after today, I would advise that you go online and check for videos on elevator pitch so that you see how it works. But it's simply a 30 to 60 seconds pitch that you give in an elevator, or just by walking past somebody that you know you just have 2 minutes or 2 seconds or 30 seconds with. So you should be able to have your business in your heart enough to be, you know, to say it out to that person. So like I said here, an elevator pitch is a quick, casual pitch for when you unexpectedly meet someone you could help, who could help you. You know, like at an event, you could just meet someone you've been, you know, shadow admiring, shadow looking up to say, oh, I wish I can just have a moment with this person, just to tell this person about my business. And you meet this person, and this person looks like he's hurrying somewhere. And you know that this person does not really have the luxury of time. So you're able to use 30 to 60 seconds to tell the person what you do, and everything that you do is captured in those seconds. That's what the elevator pitch is. It doesn't necessarily have to be in an elevator. It could be at an event. It could be at you know, just anywhere. It could even be in a plane. Anywhere you meet somebody and you know that time is not on your side, and you really need to let this person know what your business is about, then you just have to tell this person in 30 to 60 seconds what you do. That's the elevator pitch. The next type of pitch is investor pitch. Investor pitch. So this is the real cocoa. The people who get to give you business, invest in your business, and then see it grow. They get their own return on investments and all of that. Theirs can be like a 10 to 20 minutes and with slides, because they like to see progression, they like to see pictures, they like to see growth, they like to see something that is compelling enough to make them want to bring out their money and invest in your business. So for theirs, it is a little bit longer. It is a formal pitch used to convince investors to put money into your business in exchange for a share of it. Like, I want you to, clock what I've said. It is a formal pitch used to convince investors to put money into your business. Convince is the word. Whatever you're doing should be convincing enough for them to be able to put money into your business in exchange for a share of it. Of course, you know what investing in a business is. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all almost all in business, and we understand what that means. The next type of pitching is grant pitch. Remember, we're saying you're winning. The topic is pitch perfect, winning proposals for investors and grants. So we're looking at investors and we're looking at grants. The grant pitch is another one. A pitch or a proposal focused on impact and results. So if you're pitching for a grant, it is either spoken or written. But bear in mind that it is either a proposal that is focused on impact. Impact. You started this business idea. How many people have you been able to impact? Okay, there was a problem. You entered a community and found that there was no maternal care. There wasn't any, very good hospital for women to go give birth, and come out alive. And then you saw that was the problem. You went there, you got a land, or you spoke to the government and they're able to give it a space. You built a very good hospital. You got doctors, you got, the whole idea is how many women were safely delivered there, didn't have the issues they were having before at the time you met it. So your pitch has got to show impact. If you are pitching to a grant giver, your pitch should be focused on impact and results. Where were you before? Where are you now? What were the numbers before? What are the numbers now? How many people have you impacted? These are the things that you could use to convince a grant giver that your work matches their goals. If what you're doing does not match their goal. So first of all, before you even pitch to a grant giver, look out for what they're interested in. Not all grants are for what you do. Some grants are for those in the climate space. Some grants are for those in agriculture space. Some grants are for those in mining. So first of all, don't get it wrong. Don't say you want to go and start, getting an international passport for your country that you're not going to. So if you're going, is it international passport or visa? So you get a visa for the particular country that you're going for. So it is for the grants pitching. Find out what they're interested in, what are their goals, so that you're aligned with their goals, and so that when you're pitching, you're making sense. Otherwise, it is a turn off for them. Sales pitch. Sorry, I need everybody to make me understand that you're following me. I hope I'm not too fast. I'm not too, So the next one is sales pitch. Sales pitch, you would agree with me that it can be long. It can take as long as it takes, because sometimes you need to keep talking and talking and talking before you're able to get, one product sold. So it's usually a long one, but it is aimed at one customer. It needs to convince them to buy your product or services either right now or later. So you have to make sure that whatever you're pitching in terms of sales is convincing enough for that customer to like your product and buy your product. Remember, I said elevator pitch is there, investor pitch, grant pitch, sales pitch. The last one is panel or demo day pitch, like the one we had at the pitch party sometime in April. People came up stage to show their pitch deck and then they pitched to it. So that's another way of pitching. It's strictly timed. A pitch given in front of a room of judges or investors at once, usually followed by questions from the panel. That one is like, who wants to be a millionaire? You have to be on a hot seat, but of course you would have prepared yourself. So these other ones can be done in a space that nobody knows that you were making your pitch. Like the grants one, you could just do it over an email, over filling a form. The investor pitch as well could just be you meeting the person, and in 10-20 minutes you've told the person. Sales pitch could just be you walking up to an organization or walking up to the person to say, oh, I have this product I want you to buy. But a panel or demo day pitch is the one that you actually have to do at an event center or a specific place that is set aside for that kind of pitching. You do it in front of judges and investors, and then after your pitch, they question you. They start asking you questions on different things so that they better understand what you're doing. If you're there, say yeah, yeah. So I like this thing to be very engaging, so just keep following me. Now, why does pitching matter? Why your pitch matters? Why your pitch matters? We need to know why your pitch matters. A pitch is not just facts on a page. A pitch is a transfer of belief. I believe in my business. I know what I can do with it. I know what problems I'm trying to solve. I know that in trying to solve this problem, I'll be able to impact XYZ. It's like you passing your belief to another person. It's you passing your belief in your business to someone else. People don't just fund ideas. They fund how clearly and honestly you explain them. So if you want them to believe in what you're doing, you have to honestly explain to them what your business is about. Now, some of you would think that having to pitch your business means that you have to say a lot of things. No, as simple as it is better. Simple beats complicated. It is better that it is simple than it is complicated. If the person listening cannot repeat your idea back to you in one sentence, your pitch is not clear enough. If the person listening to you cannot say, oh, you mean you had to move from this place to this place and then you solved this problem. If the person cannot repeat what you said, then your pitch wasn't clear enough. So you have to always make sure that in meeting that person, whatever you have in your mind to pitch is clear enough, very convincing, in a way that the person believes what you said, because you mustn't waste that time. You may not see that person in the next 5-10 years, but whatever you tell the person at the time that you met the person will sit with the person, would keep ringing in the person's mind until the person says, oh, can we meet? Can we talk? So it also means that when you're meeting people and you want to pitch at any time, you have your complimentary card or you have your flyer, something that has your contact details in case the person has to reach out to you. So make sure that all times you're ready. Just like an artisan who goes about with his or her work tools, you should also have your work tool in your head and then all of the materials that you need to make your business convincing. Now, confidence shows you know your business. Some of us know our business, but we're not confident enough to tell someone what we do. If you're not confident, then you're not ready for business. I used to say jokingly that business in Lagos is for the strong, and then very, very, for the strong, in fact, because you have to be confident, you have to be bold, you have to be ready to take risk, and taking risk comes from confidence. So how calmly you answer hard questions is watched just as closely as your numbers. If you are not confident enough to answer questions when they ask you, who will now answer for you? So it means that knowing your business, you have to know it very, very well. It's like people who just come up, oh, I have a business idea. They don't even know how to go about the business. Like someone who says, oh, I want to just open a salon. She doesn't know how to make hair. She doesn't know all of the materials that she needs to buy, but she wants to open a salon. Now she opens the salon not knowing what to do. Someone meets her and says, oh, what do you do now? And you say, oh, I have a salon. Are you, what plan do you have? So, oh, sir, please, please, if you have the money, can you just help me invest in my business? The person is asking you, oh, when did you open the business? What are the things that you usually use for coiling hair? What is it? And you're just looking at the person. My dear, you have lost an investor. So don't just have a business idea and start it. It's not enough. It's more, what is more compelling and more convincing is knowing it in total. Know how to measure clothes if you're the owner of that tailoring shop. Know how to wash hair. Know all of the products that are used. Know everything that you need to know very, very well. Okay, have that confidence in mind. Now, people fund people, not just ideas. People fund people, not just ideas. And they fund people that are trustworthy. In case you're thinking, oh, I'm good looking. And so because I'm good looking, I can speak good English. I know how to talk to a crowd. They will fund me. No, they fund people that are trustworthy. If you're not trustworthy, they will not fund you. Investors and grant givers choose founders they believe will actually get the job done. So if you're somebody that is very tardy, they give you one task, you're not able to do it. Someone says, "Oh, can I get a quotation in the next 5 days?" And 1 month, 2 months, you've not even gotten the quotation. You're not ready for business. It means that when an investor invests in your business and it is on you to follow up on deals, you will not follow up on deals. So that part where you reach an agreement to say by so year, as an investor, you'll be getting this amount. The investor will not get it, and it becomes a problem. So they have to be sure that you're ready to do the job. If you're not ready, please don't go about pitching, because you have to work on yourself, work on your character, work on your readiness. Readiness, in fact, work on the ability to be ready to do what you want to do, so that investors can believe in you and give you the money that you want. If you're there, say I'm there. Okay, so now building the pitch itself. So how many of us have heard about pitch decks? Pitch deck is actually like the graphical representation of this business thing that we're talking about. And if you have the opportunity to pitch and you're told to come up with a pitch deck, this is how you're going to arrange your pitch deck. Number one. So now, two things: either you are presenting a pitch deck or you just have to talk about it. In talking about it, this is the flow of how you're going to talk about it. The first flow is the welcome and vision. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My business is about this. I had this idea. Oh, when I was in university, there was this problem we had with toilets. I realized that they didn't have much toilets in my community. So I thought about it. If I go back and I have the opportunity to have money to help my community, I'll be able to, so I've already started moving. I've moved from welcome to vision. I've entered the problem. The problem was when he was in university. He noticed that in his community, he didn't have much toilets. And then he started thinking of a way forward. That's the solution. Number 3. Number 4, where will I get this toilet that I want to, install in my village? He now starts doing research on how to get an affordable toilet. I'm using an example. He starts thinking about how to get an affordable toilet. And then the next thing is installing. He needs money to install it. He now gets the little money that he got. He installed the one that he installed. And then this is what he was able to do. I have moved to number 6. So vision, problem, the solution, how big the market is. Oh, if I put this toilet, market people are able to use it. How about I just put one and then they're able to make money from it? You move very quickly. Vision, problem, solution, how the big market is, who will benefit from it, how you make your money. That's very important, because sometimes you want to say, oh, I don't want to show them that I'll make money from it. You're making a mistake. If you're pitching to an investor, the investor needs to know whether you're making money from that business enough for him to invest and make his own money. So you have to let them know how you're making the money, the progress so far, where you were when you started and where you are now at the time you were pitching. They want to see the progress. Now, other companies like yours, you could just say, oh, this other company, just mention that. Then your team is very, very important. Don't say because, oh, it's about me, and then the people on your team will now be people that don't know what they're doing. Investors always look out for that. They want to be sure that you have people that think like them, people that are forward thinking, people that are smart, people that can help manage the money, people that are, very, very good coordinated team that knows what you're doing. Either a team of very good accountants, a team of very good auditors, a team of a business management manager. They want to be sure that your team is intelligent, they're smart, they're well read, they've had experiences, they've had experiences in previous roles like this, they succeeded in that role, and so they'll be able to succeed in your role. Now, the next thing that your pitch must have is the numbers. Numbers are very, very important for an investor, even for a grant giver. They want to know where you started from. And when you started, how many did you get? How many do you have now that you're hoping that when they give you money, you would move to a certain number? So make sure that you get your numbers right. And so in this your entrepreneurship, this your business that you're doing, please keep records. it is in keeping your daily records that you're able to sum up in the next 1, 2, 3 years what you'll be able to do. So your numbers are very, very key. Know know the numbers you had when you started. The previous year, what number did you go to? The third year, the fourth year. Keep record of all these things. In case you meet an investor or a funder, you will tell them how you progressed. If you don't give them a number or you're not able to come up with a number, then you're not ready. They'll see you as somebody who is not serious. So get your numbers right. Keep all of these records intact. You will need them someday. Now, the last thing will be what you are asking for. So after taking them through the problem, the solution, the big markets, how you make money, the progress so far, other companies that you've worked with, your team, the numbers, the last thing will now be what you need. How much do you need to see that you're able to go on to the next stage? You have to have a figure in your head. So even as at growing up, when I was much younger, if you go to my dad and you say, "Oh, daddy, I need to buy a football," he would ask you, "How much is a football?" And you're like, "Oh, daddy, I don't know." You say, "My friend, live here. When you find out the amount, you come back to me." So make sure that you have in your head your ask, the amount that you want to, you're asking for the investor to give to you. Can I get an emoji if you are following? Now, tell a story. Your slideshow should be about you telling a story. It doesn't have to be too rigid, too dry. So, number one, you tell them, "Oh, here is the problem." Number two, here is who it hurts. So this is the problem that I found out. Like I tried using an example of having not having a good maternal house for like a mother and child for childbirth. It is a problem. Now, who is it hurting? It is hurting a woman who gives birth, and after giving birth, she loses her child, or the husband or family of the woman who has gone to give birth and didn't come out alive. So you need to cite who the problem is hurting. Now, number three, here is why nothing else has fixed it. Why do you think you do? So you show them why nothing else has fixed it, which is why you're citing the problem. Now, here is what we built. In citing why nothing else has fixed it, what have you done? You now show them what you have built, because they need to see. It is like going to your boss or someone to say, "Oh, there's a problem in this area," and the person now says, "Okay, what do you think is the solution?" So you need to show what you have built and then show them the proof that it works. So this is what I built. This is what it was able to solve. This is what it did for me. What I built, this was what it solved. Show them proof that it worked. Then how big this can grow. So if I was able to achieve this, so I put in this, I was able to get this. Now, if I'm able to get whatever money that I'm asking for, it will grow to this level. So there has to be that storyline. It just follows. If you imagine that you're watching a movie, the first scene, second scene, third scene, it didn't flow well. You say, I beg, this one will not even work. You turn off the TV or move on to the next movie. So let them follow your story in a way that they're able to understand and relate with it. Now, the seventh one is, here is what we need from you. You have to be sure. You need to be sure of what you want. Okay? The last one is what your money will make happen. So I want 30 million, and I need 30 million because over time I have seen that if I was able to put 10 million in this thing to achieve this number, when I put 30 million, I will get this XYZ number. And when I do that, I know that I will move on to 60 million or whatever number that sounds as progression for you. So make sure you tell your pitch is like a story that passes on your belief to someone else. Okay. So the problem, your solution, and the market. Now, the problem, you have to explain the pain in your sentence. So when you're telling them what exactly that you're pitching for, you have to make them understand, feel the pain that you felt at the time that you felt the pain. Imagine you're talking about, "Oh, I was serving at a place, and then I had this neighbor who was pregnant. Everybody was looking forward to when she would deliver. This woman had waited 14 years, for her baby to come. And then the day suddenly came, and then she went to give birth and then did come back. Oh, it pained me. It pained me so much that I realized that the cause of her death was where she went to give birth. There was no electricity. The doctor that was supposed to, take charge of the delivery had just stepped out and was not reachable. The nurses tried to do their bit and they couldn't help, and then she lost her life. So you have to explain that pain, in one sentence, and then use a real example, not a general idea. So don't come saying, for instance, some people will say, oh, women have problem with accessing finance. Well, that's a general term and is also huge. You have to say women, you have to be sure of which women. Is it career women or is it women in underserved areas? There has to be, a real example, not a general idea. Now, you have to show that it happens often and cost people something, like the story I cited of how a copper was waiting for his neighbor to give birth after waiting for 14 years, and then he also now mentioned that it wasn't just her. Several people have had to lose their lives and their babies in that kind of hospital. Now, the next thing will be solution. Explain simply what makes your product worth paying for. You have to explain in clear terms why this product is what they should invest in. If you're not convincing, then you're not ready. Show it. Don't just describe it. Pictures beat paragraphs. So don't come and say, oh, this is it. Show them pictures, how it works, how that when they use it, they're able to achieve. Have you ever seen adverts that Chinese people do? They show you something that they'll just put for the child. First of all, they show you a problem where a parent is struggling to brush the child's teeth and the child gets to bite the parents. That was the problem. And then the next, they just show you one kind of very type of toothbrush that can help. They just fix it to the child's teeth and then they go like this. Even the child can just hold it and just be brushing his or her teeth. That's the way that they described them solving a problem in a way that compels you to buy it, because you're tired of having to have those episodes with your child where you're trying to brush the child's teeth and the child gets to bite you. I had that experience as well. And let me also shock you. When I saw that advert, I thought it was a very good idea because I felt it was solving a problem that I bought that thing. So if I'm able to buy it and an investor sees it, an investor too would want to invest in it. So what I'm saying is, you don't just talk about it, you show it, you describe it. Describe the solution, show the solution and describe it. Now, explain why now and why you. Explain why they have to help you now, why they have to support you now, and why it has to be your company that they have to support. Remember, I said that everything you're doing, showing an investor or pitching, has to be very compelling. So from start to the end, you're working on a very compelling script. Why do they have to invest in you or give you the grant? And why is it you? Why should it be you in the midst of all other companies that could be doing a similar thing or not? Why should it be you and why at that time? Another point that you look at is how big the market is. Explain how big the total opportunity is. You tell them, imagine that I go to this community, or maybe your own is that you're looking for someone that will come invest in your filling business, oil and gas. You just have only one filling station in your community, and people come from different other neighboring communities to buy fuel, and then the queue is so long, and you don't have money to open more filling stations. And you're telling an investor, imagine that we have 10 filling stations and we have it not just in that community, we have it in other places. If I make money just from this filling station with all this crowd, imagine that you have 10 of it in all of these other communities that come to buy fuel from my station. You can imagine the money that you will make. The investor quickly brings out his calculator brain, or even in their hands, and they're like, oh, it's true, that's true. So you have to let them know how big the market is. If you don't tell them that this market is big, or you don't even say anything at all, they don't see the need to invest in it, because they also have to start thinking, if the person got this from just one or two very small place, imagine that I have to invest for him or her to get like 20, it means I'm getting this amount, and the person becomes very interested. Now you have to show the smaller piece you can realistically reach first. Show them the small thing that you've been able to do, the amount that you're able to get. Now back your numbers with a trusted source. So don't just think you have the numbers and you're just going to tell them the numbers to bamboozle them. It has to be it has to be backed with a trusted source. Or tell them you can, like maybe you have your bank statements, you have transactions to show for it. You even have customers you've had to do this business with that they can ask, they can interview, and they'll be able to, find out the truth from them. These things are the things that you need to put in place while you're pitching your business. Okay, we'll move on. Now, how you make money. How you make money. Remember, I said it earlier that you need to mention to them how you're making money from it. Because first, the business has got to be able to feed you or take care of the little things that are your problems. It has to be sustainable, first of all, a little bit sustainable in a way that you're just looking for more money to make it more sustainable. Now, how you make money, your progress and your team. How you make money. Explain exactly how money comes in. An investor will not invest in something that doesn't bring money because they are particularly interested in the return on investment. So explain to them how you make money from that business. Explain to them your pricing and how much profit you keep per sale. So if you're that kind of person that when you sell, you eat the money immediately, you are not ready. This is a wake-up call for you to go and keep your books clean. Get ready for an opportunity that is bigger than where you are now. So work on your pricing and let them know your pricing. We had a short session with a woman who wanted a facility, and we're asking her some of these questions. How much do you give per this sachet? You want to move on to this bigger sachet. How much are you making when you had this small sachet? Now, how much will you make when you start producing this bigger sachet? These are questions that people would ask. So look at your pricing and how much profit you make per sale. Have that figure in your head. How that profit grows as your business grows. So imagine we asked her that day, how many were you doing before? She said 50. Now, how many do you want to do? She said 200. So how much profit were you making when it was 50? She said. How much do you think you will make when you're going to 200? She said it. Yes, whether I was complaining or not, she knew her numbers and she said it. Now, progress so far, the money earned. Let them know how much you've earned so far. Customers gained. So I started with 5 customers at the time that I started. But right now I am at 50 customers. And these customers are, working on referrals. People keep coming based on the number of customers that I have now. So let them know the customers that you've gained or agreements that you signed so far. So I started with such a number of customers. I earned this money from this number of customers. And so now I have about 50 customers, and even some who've reached an agreement that I'll be supplying them. We're just looking for when to start. So let them know all of this business, all of these details. Show the trend over time, not just numbers. Show the trend. If there was a time that you went down, let them know. Because definitely there are times that that's in business. Don't come and say, oh, I will show them progress all through. You can show them that, oh, at this time of the year, we didn't make much money because sales dropped. Be realistic, because these are things that are obtainable in business. So they need to know, all of these details. Now, the goals you set and actually hit, you need to let them know on time and on budget. Let them know the progress so far. Now, your team, which, like I said, is very, very important. You want an investor to invest in your business. Your team is very, very important. Don't go and carry people that just, forgive me, people who have very little or no experience at all in that kind of business. Don't go and bring those kind of people. Your team has got to be top notch. People who understand the business so strong enough that even when you're not around, they're able to run the business. People who have had experience in that field, who are able to advise you, well enough for you not to make so many mistakes. Now, why this team is right for this problem, you need to let them know why the team is right. Why do you have about 2 people in finance? Why do you have a business manager? Why do you have someone in logistics? Why do you have someone? You need to let them know the real experience and skill relevant to the business. They also need to know, oh, this person is bringing on board 10 years in procurement. This person is bringing on board 5 years in what. Let them know the gaps you have and your plan to fill them. Oh yes, I know I have 5 staff. they're not enough, but I'm looking at when an investor invests in me and I have some money, I'll be able to get a CEO or a COO, because paying a COO will come at a very high cost. So let them know the gaps that you have in terms of your team and how you plan to fill them up. Now, the numbers and what you're asking for. The numbers and what you're asking for. What you expect to earn and spend over the next 5 years. You need to let them know what you're expecting to earn. So I need 30 million, and this 30 million in the next 2 3 years will birth so amount. Explain clearly why these numbers are what the numbers are based on. These numbers are based on the sales that I had 2 3 years ago, or last year, or this year, where I am so far. Let them know clearly when you will stop losing money and how fast you're spending it now. They need to know all of these numbers. When you will stop losing money, they need to know, and how fast you're spending it now. Let them know all of these things. Now, numbers you can defend beat numbers that just look impressive. So don't just wake up and come up with numbers. Oh, last year I was at 30,000 number of followers. This year I got to 200,000. How did you get the numbers? How did you get the numbers? They would ask you, and they will so ask you so well that if it was just a number that you framed, they will know. So don't choose being impressive over being able to defend your numbers. So the numbers that you can defend beat the numbers that just look impressive. Please don't go there thinking you just want to impress them with numbers. Yes, they want to see numbers, but they also want to know how you achieved it. You have to be able to defend it. Please, you have to be able to defend it. Don't go and do this Lagos Island type of certificate numbers and come and think that your investors are very smart too. Your investors are very smart. They're very well read. They are very experienced. In fact, before they come to you to say they want to invest in your business, they have known everything about that business. So there's nothing you want to tell them that will bamboozle them. You try it, they will hold you. They will tell you, no, 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 you didn't get to it. No, they'll smile. Just some of them, just one smile. That will tell you that you have flopped. So be very, very careful. Be genuine. Make sure that you defend your numbers. The numbers that you're putting up there are genuine numbers. Say the exact amount of money you want. I can see my camera. Oh. Sorry, I needed to work on my camera. Okay, so I'll go back to my slide. Okay, so now what investors look for. Oh no, I jumped. So never make the funder do the math. Never make the funder do the math, and I'll explain that. Someone walks up to you and says, we need money to grow our business. And the investor is wondering, you need money. What money do you want? No, it's a very weak ask, because there was no amount, no plan, no way to judge it. A better or more manageable way could be, we are asking for 30 million naira, but it's still not good enough. Yes, you mentioned a real number, but still no picture of what it can buy. Now, the very strong way to approach your investor is saying, we are asking for 30 million naira to buy 2 new machines, grow our monthly output from 5,000 to 18,000 units, and start selling in Abuja and Port Harcourt, giving us 18 months before we need to raise again. So you would agree with me that the amount was there, the plan on how to achieve it is there, the results all in one breath was in this speech that this person has said. So don't give your funder the assignment to do the math in his or her head. Do all of the maths, sum it in your pitch, and put it there. Never make the funder to do the maths for you. Remember that. What investors are looking for, I had said it before and I'm explaining it here. Investors are looking for a team they can trust and rely on. Being able to get things done matters as much as the idea. Investors fund people first. Investors fund people first. Tony Lumuli has built so much, about himself. A lot of people who, first of all, had built themselves in a way that before you even start telling them their business ideas, just because of their person, the investor wants to invest in the person. So investors fund people first before they're able to give you that money. Another thing that investor is looking out for is a big market that you can actually reach. Not just a big number, but a believable plan for winning some of it. A believable plan for winning some of it. Prove that people want it. You have to show them that people are looking for this opportunity. It's just that I don't have the money to take it out to them. And how are they looking for it? You have to show them how they're looking for it. Sales, users, repeat customers, or signed agreements that show real demand. You need to show them. You need to show them, oh, how that you made this sale, how people are still asking, oh, how people, more customers are still coming because someone referred them, and then the signed agreements you've had for them that you're just waiting for a timeline to start. Show them proof. Now, numbers that make sense. Remember I said it, you have to show them numbers that make sense. A business that earns more profits per sale as it grows bigger, not less. You need to show them a business that is growing more profits per sale, per year, per day, and as it grows bigger, not less. So if you're coming to pitch and you're telling them, this year I did this, the next year I went down, the next year again I went down, you're not ready. There has to be progress. There has to be something to show them that if I put my money here, in the next few years, I'm going to be getting my money back. Now, a clear path to grow and pay them back. You need to show them. It's like people coming to ask us for facility. They want money for something, something, but they are not ready to pay back. In fact, when you ask them how much you make in your business every month, when you hear it, you're like, are you sure this person will pay back? You're not confident to give them that facility. It's the same way it happens for investors. You need to show them the clear path on how you're going to pay back that money. How the business grows and how the investor eventually gets their money back is very, very important. Please have that figure. You would have done your projections. You would have done all of those things that shows you where you will be in the next 3 years to show them what you will get, and then you tell it to them. Investors are not just judging your business, they are judging whether they can trust you with their money. I'll move on very quickly. Like I've explained, what grant, okay, so I've spoken so much about investors. We're moving on to grant givers. Grant givers are looking at your goals. Your goals must match theirs. Your request must speak directly to what the funder cares about, not a generic message sent to everyone. No. Your goal has got to be clear and you need to show them clear and provable results, real numbers of people helped, and real change made that you can show and explain. A plan for after the money runs out. A clear, honest budget. So I'm trying to brush up so that I meet up with time. But I know that when I started, I had mentioned what an investor is looking out for and what a grant giver is looking out for. This is also further into it. The main goal for investors is getting their money back with profits, while the main goal for a grant giver is making a real difference in people's lives. The main goal for an investor in terms of success is that sales are growing, the company is becoming more valuable, while for a grant giver, what they're looking at for in terms of success is how many people helped and what changed for them. In terms of risk, the investor is looking at how willing you're able to take risk for a big reward. A grant giver is looking at what you want to see, they want to see the money used carefully and correctly. While an investor is looking at several years of growth before getting paid back, the grant giver is looking at the length of the grants plus a plan for after. So a grant giver, I've had experience where we have to apply for grants. They would ask you in one of the interviews or sessions that you had with them, so okay, what if after this year, maybe the grant is for a year, and they will ask you after this year, how are you looking at surviving? They want to know what plans you have after the grant expires. Investor is also, in terms of what to win them over, a business that can grow big, led by a strong team. They want to see it. Those are the things they're looking out for. Why a grant giver is looking at the shared goals, the proof that it works, and careful use of funds. Moving on very quickly, one pattern to remember is while you're pitching or in your slides, the investor is looking at you, first of all, showing the problem, the opportunity, the proof that it works, the growth, and the money back. For a grant giver, when you're pitching, in case you're pitching a deck or even when speaking, start with the problem, the action taken, the proof that it works, the impact, and the lasting change. There are two different approaches to these people because they think differently. Common mistakes to avoid. For those of you who are not careful, you just want to, because we've talked about pitching, you just want to do things anyway. No, please avoid these mistakes. Mistakes of starting with a long company history of the problem. Some of you will say, oh, I am this one. Make it short. The market numbers that are unclear, exaggerated or unproven is a very big mistake. Don't come with that mindset. Money forecast with no explanation of how you got the numbers, you are making a mistake. Don't do that. Filling pages with paragraphs the funder must read and it is not clear and the person cannot hear it, you are just making a mistake. No clear ask. Funders should never have to guess what you need. If you pitch and there's no amount or there's no clear explanation of how much you need, it's a big mistake. Getting defensive or dismissive when you're asked a hard question. So for those of us who will pitch before the panel of judges and the audience and they're asking you, how much are we going to what? And you're like, I thought I said it in my pitch. If you come that way, you will not get it. Though. Humility gets you where you want to get to. So you have to be you have to work towards that so that you're not defensive or dismissive. Be humble enough and strong enough, even confident enough to answer their questions. Now, very importantly, practice makes perfect. Trust me, me that is looking like this, before I came up here to speak to you, I had done my own practice. So practice makes perfect. Say it out loud again and again. Reading it in your head is not the same as rehearsing it. Say it out loud until it flows without needing your pages as a script. Practice in front of real people first. You can practice in front of your husband, your mom, whoever it is that you're confident or comfortable enough to practice your business in front of. Ask mentors or friends who will ask you hard questions before you founder. So better still, pitch before somebody that you know is a hard nut to crack. Somebody who understands what business is about. Somebody who thinks like an investor, a grant giver. Pitch in front of that person and let the person ask you some of those questions that an investor or a grant giver would ask to prepare you for the actual day. Now, time yourself exactly. Most pitches must fit in 5 to 10 minutes. Shorten what you say. Don't just talk, faster to fit into the number. No, shorten it in a way that you even still have 2 minutes extra to stop. Shorten it. Get ready to be interrupted. So don't say, oh, because they interrupted you, like, I lost my line of thought. No, be ready. Funders ask questions in the middle of your pitch. Practice speaking your story back up smoothly. Know your numbers by heart. Please don't just know it for paper's sake or for the screen's sake. Know your numbers by heart. Every number on your page should be one you can explain instantly without looking back at it. Now, watch how you look and sound. Be very careful. This is very key. If you're going to be meeting an investor, even a grant giver, you need to watch how you look and how you sound. They're very key. Work on your accents, looking people in the eye, speaking at a steady pace, keeping your hands calm, and showing confidence. These are very key things. So I spoke about answering tough questions. I'm not going to go back to that. I already touched that. So now we are going to have our life group exercise, a life group exercise. Mercy, you're going to coordinate. I need 3 people who would volunteer. 3 people who would volunteer. Do we still have time to do this, Mercy, please? Okay, so it was just, so we have just 1 minute each for each person to pitch their businesses, putting in place all that I've mentioned, the problem, the solution, what you're asking, everything that you need to ask. In 60 seconds, tell us, do we have 3 people? Mercy, please check. Just 3 people randomly picked. Yes. 3.
Yes, we do. We have Oluchi, we have Olubusola, and we have Oluwatosin.
Awesome.
These are the first 3 people that raised their hands.
Do we have an opportunity to bring them up to pitch?
That's fine.
So
So my
Alright.
first contestant.
Oluchi,
Oluchi,
Opioha.
Oluchi, don't fall my hand. Don't try it, please. Don't fall my hand. Okay, so over to you.
Oluchi, you can speak.
Speak. Oluchi, are you muted? Oluchi speaking.
I don't think so. Oluchi Obioha, you have been unmuted. Please unmute and speak. Okay, I think she's not ready.
Okay, let's move to the next person.
Olubusola.
Time was please. 1 minute. 1 minute each for one person.
Olubusola, you have been permitted to speak. Please speak.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good
I can hear.
afternoon. My name is Olubusola Adejoye. I run Market Runs by Busola Limited. We are a Lagos-based business that do market runs for people. We go to the market for people, busy people actually. If a working mom, a busy daddy, someone that does not have time to go to the market, we run the market for you. That's our slogan. Also, what we do, please, can everyone hear me?
Clearly.
Okay. So we realize that most people, even if they're able to go to the market, they always have issues washing their, so taking care of their market runs and everything. So at market runs, what we do for them is when we go to the market for you, we help you wash your produce, we help you clean it, we bag it and make it freezer ready for you to put it in the market. We've been in existence since 2018. That's when we've been running the business. What I am asking for is 10 million naira loan. I want to open a storefront
Your time is
whereby.
up.
Okay, thank you.
Time is up. Thank you so much. Thank you. So remember that everybody is a judge here. Can we move to the next person, please?
Oluwatosin Raji.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, can you all hear me?
Loud and clear, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Oluwatosin Raji Taiwo. I'm a school owner, education consultant, conference convener, and startup in palm oil investment at Pinstead Alpha Global Concept. I started the school, Spring Springs and Princess Montessori School in 2014. After 15 years in service as a school teacher, I found out that I needed to give more. My passion is simple. I believe education should not only produce learners who can pass examination. It should produce confident, skilled, innovative, and economically empowered people. As a school owner, I have experienced firsthand some of the challenges facing education today. Number one, teachers who need continuous professional development. Number two, school owners who need better management and sustainable business models. Number three, learners who need an education that prepares them for the realities of the future, because we know that the future of education is different from what we used to have in the past. So that's why I started the school in 2014, and we are 12 years now. And we started
Thank
in a
you. Thank
climate,
you.
and
Time
we're
is
able
up.
to get. Okay.
Your time is up. Your time is up, madam. Thank you so much. But we heard you. Can we go to the third person, please? Okay. Chidima wants to speak. Awesome. All right.
Please hold on. Let me permit her to
speak now.
Yes, you are.
Oh,
Okay, hold on, hold on. Just
No,
hold on.
she should speak since she's already permitted. You can speak.
All right, so let's speak now. Your time starts now.
okay. My name is Oluwakemi, and I'm the founder of K-Bells Avon. What problem is K-Bells Avon? Many young professionals, many young individuals want to look elegant. without body alteration. At Cabel's Avon, this solution is what we provide by giving you the best fashion accessories that makes you look elegant without body alteration. Who are those that want to solve this problem? Every young individuals that want to see themselves beautiful and also want people to see them in their best form. This solution is simply providing every accessories that fits each body type to look elegant. Proofs that we have is that we have served young people with the age of 18 to 50 years and has helped them to look elegant without body alteration. No piercing, no butt lift, no boobs lift, and yet they look presentable. What am I asking for as founder of Bells Avon is a 10 million naira to open a physical
Time
working
up.
store.
Time up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the challenge. Thank you. All right. Do we have another person? Chidima. Okay, please, Chidima. Over to you, Chidima. So.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chibo Chidima Florence. I'm chatting from Onisha, Anambra State, precisely, and my business name is Dima Luxury Catalog Enterprises. I'm into line business. I import goods from China. I don't have a niche. We do. I bought so many items and many things, and I have a group that I sell to them in pre-order. And the thing is that what I'm looking out for is as 10 million or thereabout that I'm going to use and establish my business so I can be buying it much in bringing it down to Nigeria, not in pre-order that they'll be waiting for me until the thing will get down to Nigeria. And also have a shop that I'm planning to make payment on it, but the money is the problem that makes me to apply for this grant. So please, I would be glad if you guys permit me and give me this wonderful opportunity so that I can be able to help my family, society, and the world.
Time up. Very interesting. Everybody's sins. Your sin, all of you has found you out. Okay, sorry to use that, but a lot of you really sound very, very unprepared. It is very clear that we still maybe have to do a repeat on this topic, or you need to go back and practice again. Practice with all of the things that you've said. Some of you, there's someone that concentrated on the problems. She was listing it: number one, this, two, this, three, this. Just one line of problem. Just say it. That just covers all of the challenges that you're looking at to solve. The last speaker was saying, I'm looking for 10 million or thereabouts, and then so that you give it to me, so I'll better my life and my family. It is business we're talking about. You're not talking about your life and family, even though you know that whatever you make from the business, you would use to better your life. You don't need to bring that up when you're speaking to an investor. You don't need to bring that up. So we still have a lot of homework to do. Go back, practice with all that was said, get a hold on what your business is about, the problem that you had that made you come into the business, what you're solving, where you are now, all of the numbers, all that I've said, in fact, put them all into practice daily, 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 because you never can tell who you could be in a plane or a bus with, at an event, or even an elevator. You have to be ready with all of these details at all times. So I would get Messi to share a link of a video of very good pitches and then bad pitch so that you learn from them, and then you're able to get yourself ready. So one of the last things I have is that before you walk into your venue, your pitch should tell one story. Your ask should be specific. You've looked into what the funder actually cares about, all of that. Thank you very much. I hope with these few points of mine, I have not confused you, but I'm able to convince you that you can actually pitch better, and you should pitch better, more prepared, and yes, more than the sky. is your limit. In fact, the sky is not going to be your limit. You're unlimited if you're able to get your pitch right. Thank you so much for being on this webinar today. Till I come your way next time, keep being who you are. Stay tuned to She Ventures. We have so many opportunities. And okay, so there are questions. Oh, sorry.
So thank you so much. Sorry, I'm trying to turn on my camera. Hold on. Okay. So thank you so much, Debbie, for that session. It was very clear, practical, and straightforward, I must say. And I'm sure business queens will agree with me that it was very enlightening. And you know how we do it with She Ventures. It is always premium or we are out. We're literally wearing our bragging rights today. Okay, so before we move into the question session, because I know a lot of us have questions. I've been seeing questions dropping in the chat boxes. So in one word, how was this session? Let's hear from you. How was this session? Let's be quick on that. Okay, I'm going through the chat room to see. Okay, insightful, impressive, educative, insightful, again, excellent, fantastic, absolutely, and you're all right on that. Really, I learned a lot as well from that session. Debbie, thank you so much once more. And thank you everyone for your responses. And I'm sure like me, many of us have been taking notes. So this is where the conversation gets very, very interesting. Right, so we'll be going right into the questions. So I know you probably have questions for the first speaker and also the second speaker. Right, so if you would love to talk, please make use of the raise hand emoji so we can permit for you to ask your question. But please do note that we may be unable to take all of the questions today, right? Because I've already seen a lot of questions on the chat, was already seen over 30 questions. So we may be unable to take all of your questions today. However, we will compile these questions, send responses to as many questions as possible. But one thing, all right, before we start the questions, there is no right, wrong, or basic question. If you're thinking about it, chances are that someone else is thinking about it too. So please ask your questions. All right, so I'm going to the chat box to check the questions we have. And do we have people raising their hands to talk? Oluwatosin Raji, is this I think it's an old hand. Okay, so we'll alternate it 1-1. Rukayat Sadiq, I don't know, is this hand for question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go on.
Okay, and thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. It was an insightful and impactful one, too. My question is about the funding. So first and foremost, I want to know, is it a grant or a loan? That's my first question.
Okay, so
Secondly,
this,
yes,
sorry, just to be clear on this, we are
yes.
not doing a grant session. It's just a webinar preparing you for such an opportunity. So this is not a grant. All right, but if your
Okay.
question is regarding the first speaker and her
Yes,
conversation around She Ventures, right?
yes.
Okay, no, so it's not a grant, it's a facility or offerings we offer. So there are financial services and non-financial services. So it's loan facility where we have the zero interest and also the other gender loans that attract interest. So you may want to rephrase your question so we can answer you. The speaker is on ground to answer you.
Yes, that question is precisely for her. So I actually wanted to know if it's for is a grant kind of funding or a loan funding. But although you've answered that question based on what she said earlier, it has to be a loan, and the person has to be like on the has a financial transaction that is like 6 months, something like that, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. So my second question is.
Sorry, Madam Rukaya, just to clarify, interest loan. You have to run your account for 6 months because you do not have a financial history with the bank, and the loan is given at no interest rates, right? It's not a grant. It's actually I call it a refundable grant. So we give, if you're eligible to 2 million, for instance.
Sorry, it's cracking. I barely hear you.
2 million.
It's cracking. I barely hear you.
You don't return it with interest. However, these gender loans are the ones that are priced, and for you can access that loan even if you don't have like a financial history. But then you have to open an account with us. You can bring your other bank statement and you'll be assessed based on that for the gender loans. Is that clear now?
Yes.
So thank you, Rukaya. So the second person, Habit Senja. I don't know. Please, you can speak. Do you have a question? Habit Senja, your hands are up. Okay, sorry, a very important one before we go on with the question. So a link will be dropped in the chat box.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sorry, hold on, Habit Senja. All right, so a link will be dropped in the chat box. Please do well to follow the link to join our community. A lot of you have been dropping questions regarding the webinar slides and if it's being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded, and the speaker has been generous enough to share her slide with us, and this will be shared with the community as well. So please do well to join the community so you don't miss out on these and subsequent activities from She Ventures. So Habit Senja, please go on with your question if it's a question. After this, we'll read questions from the chat. Please, can you hear me? We don't really have much time. Give a few seconds and then we move on. Can you hear me? Please ask your question. All right, we move. Okay, so I'll be reading from the chats. Please hold on. So we have a couple of questions. Okay. Okay, so I'm starting from the latest question I can see. So I think this is to our first speaker, anonymous attendee. Do we want to respond to this? Anyone, do we want to? Anonymous attendee, that's the name. Okay, so my understanding is that She Ventures provides financial and non-financing services. For financing, we can access zero interest loans and reduce interest loans, yeah? For the non-financing services, what can we expect? Can we expect support towards meeting investors or accessing grants? Okay, is that for you, Andy? I think, yeah.
Absolutely. So aside the financial services that we offer, we also have the non-financial services where anything can happen, right? We have mentorship classes, intense 12 weeks training, and at the end of the class, you never can tell what will happen. Sometimes, not every time. And this is based on certain criteria. So participation, how you do your assignments, lateness, just general training etiquettes that you might even just shy away from, and you will be based on that criteria for you to win something. The money is usually not a lot, but it's something worthwhile, right? At our events as well, for instance, at the networking summit last year in October, and there was and you remember when before I started to speak, I spoke about having that 5 minutes speech always ready. At the event, we went spontaneous and we decided to do a pitch your business in 5 minutes, right? And those who came out actually won grants. So we give out grants when it's tied to maybe an event or some of our trainings, but we are not a grant giving unit, right? We're a profit making unit and we offer financial services in terms of loans. I hope this answers your question, Madam Anonymous.
All right, so another question for you, Yewande, is by general commerce, Yewande, can you expatiate on that? I think when you mentioned zero interest loan, the second stream, general commerce. So you're asking what you mean by general
So
commerce.
basically trading. People who are involved in trading services. That's what it is, general.
Okay, so one more question for you, Yewande. My name is Kivati Bankole. I am the MD CEO of Fusion Festa Limited, a media production and PR firm. I recently launched a new fintech business and would like to know if these loans are available for fintech as well.
Okay, so first of all is startup, if I'm correct. So we do not fund startups, not because we don't want to support you. Yes, maybe with our non-financial services. Yes, but accessing funds because you do not have some form of track record, financial track record that you can be accessed on. So it would be a no to finance such a business. So yes, we can support you with our non-financial services. However, because you don't have, do you have any financial statement? At least you should be able to provide 1 year financial statement and then maybe audited financials maybe 2 years. And if you're a startup and you don't have that, there's no way such a loan will be granted.
Okay.
So I hope.
Yep. Thank you so much, Yewande. Thank you. So I think Debbie did a great job. We don't even have questions relating to okay. So I'm still trying to check questions. Some are repeated, so I'm just going through the questions too. But let me check if anybody's hand is up so I can permit for them to speak while I check through. I don't even know if these are old hands. Okay. Marabilsi Events. Your hands are up. I don't know if it's a question or it's an old hand.
Okay.
It's a question.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, please. My question is about the patient. First, my name is Messi Agena, CEO of Mebilse Events. So the question I have is this: as an event planner, I don't just plan events. I bake cake, and I also do decoration. Then I also rent bridal accessories. I started these chains together because most times when people book me for planning, you can have some back and front with vendors. So I decided to venture into some of the services that I know that are connected. But my question is, if I go for if I want to pitch my business, should I talk about every aspect of this business? Like, I picked the point where the lecturer said that we should put it in one line, depending on the type of pitching that you want to do. But should I always talk about the different businesses, the bridal side, the cake side, the decor side, the planning side, or I should just pick one, focus on that one and talk about it? Because I also picked the part where she said that you should be, as in you should make it straight to the point so that you don't confuse the person listening to you. So in your, as a professional in the field, do you think talking about the different aspects will be confusing, or I should just talk about one? That's my question. Thank you.
Hi, Mebuse. Thank you for that question. So yes, you can tell them all of the things that you've done, but I'm sure that you have an area or specialization by now. So you should champion your area or specialization when you're pitching. Focus on one. And of course, when you get fund for that one and you're able to do it well, the other ones will not suffer. Because you don't want to sound like you're a jack of all trades. You want to sound like this is what you're doing, you're good at it, you just need funding to make it scale. So I feel that you should look at what you have grown expertise in amongst all of these other things that you're doing and pitch on that particular one. That's what I think you should do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Yuri, as a previous beneficiary of She Ventures and a provision supplier, can I make a pitch for grants or reapply for a zero interest loan? This is from Kuku Mujisola.
Cuckoo, I have said it 1,000 times. We do not give grants, right? And I'm glad that you've been a beneficiary. I suppose it was a zero interest loan. Yes, you can apply for the zero interest loan again. I mean, there's no limits to how many times you can apply. However, we don't give grants. We give grants when we maybe have events, and like I said earlier, for example, the pitch party. It was tied to our International Women's Day event, and we themed it the pitch party. So in such cases, you can win grants. Or we have our mentorship program, and we want to award the best maybe 5 students that were in class. Yes, we can give grants towards that, but we are not a grant giver.
Is on this loan again. How do I access the loan? I've done She Ventures training for 3 months last year, and I was expecting we can have access to loan. This is from Esther Tom. And then another person said, I missed out on that she had applied for the loan after traffic training. She didn't get the feedback. Should she still be expecting a feedback on it?
Okay, I don't know which of the loans that you applied for. Is it the zero interest loan? Did you get an email that you were selected as
Okay, so she said she got a mail to apply, the general mail we sent to customers.
Okay, a general mail to apply.
Yes. But after
yes, sure, yes. So, like I said, when the call for application comes out, we send mails to our customers, right? And this is also to nudge us female entrepreneurs. Please always check your emails and your text messages. Once you see anything that carries a bank name, you'll be like, these bank people have started again. You never know the one that will really be of benefits to you. So do not always ignore messages or emails. So yes, we have sent that email probably because the call for application is out and you want to be one of the beneficiaries. So if you're not still convinced, you can reach out to your account officer. You can send an email to She Ventures. The email will be dropped in the chat box, just so you confirm that you have gotten this mail. Is it something that you should disregard? Is it something that you should go ahead with? So, yes, that's how you can apply. For the zero interest loan, like I said, it's twice in a year. and you can only apply when the call for application is ongoing. Thank you.
All right. Intisar Usman said something. I applied for zero interest loan this year, and I got mail saying I'm not eligible, and I met all the criteria. I want to know if there's something else. So on this, Madam Usman, it's not possible for you to know if you were eligible or not. That's one. If you got a feedback that you were not eligible, it means upon application, the system went through your account and saw that you didn't meet up with one of the criteria. So it's system automated. So it's a rule. We've already given the system, if this and this and this is in place, this person is eligible. So if the system returned with a feedback that you were not eligible, then it meant there was a criteria that was not met. Right? And I'm sure you and they had spoken about some of the criteria, like you transacting with your account for at least 6 months consecutively. So there was a customer that reached out to us. The customer said she has been transacting with her account for a while and she wasn't eligible. Truthfully, the customer does huge transactions. She does 20 million, 30 million monthly. When I went through her account and I realized that there was a month the customer didn't meet the turnover of at least 1 million naira. So because of that break in transaction, the system didn't record it as consecutive transactions. So let's say you do 50 million naira for 4 months. Then the fifth month you do 500,000. Then 6 months you do 700 million. The system will not pick you. There has been a break in that consecutive transaction. All right. I hope that answers you.
Okay, I also wanted to touch on this particular question because we get a lot of this feedback. Again, sometimes it's not just even the criteria that I have mentioned. So again, as business owners, we need to learn to separate our personal expense from our business, right? I'm a business owner. Okay, I'm not a business owner. I work in a 9 to 5 and I'm being paid a salary, which I have worked for. You own your business. You deserve to pay yourself a salary. Please take that money and put it in your personal account, right? And spend from your personal account. So running your account for 6 months. We also check when we select our beneficiaries, we run through the account. When I see something like shoe, hair, bag, you buy hair from Monica, or you buy or school fees. So that means that if we give you this money, you would also use it for your personal expense. So all those things are also things that we put into consideration. So the person who had mentioned this, it might even be that your scorecard didn't get you to the point where you get the loan, right? Once we do our selection, we also send a scorecard to your account officers or the branch managers because, like I mentioned earlier, they're the ones who are interfacing with you, right? They know their customers well more than we do. So if we send them the scorecard and they don't feel that this customer is credit worthy, which is not even always the case most times. We've had scenarios where the customer was supposed to provide some documents. So you provide basic things. So if you're a business owner, maybe business name, it's expected that you should be paying tax, personal tax. So those kind of things will be required. So if you don't have that, how are you supposed to get the loan? It won't be possible for you to get the loan, even if you are making 100 million naira in a month for the 6 months in your account. We've had even scenarios where maybe the customer was just expecting the tax clearance from the people, the tax consultant, and it didn't come in time. And we had branch managers who wrote to She Ventures and said, they're sorry the customer wasn't able to provide at this time. Can they get exceptional approval? The customer is doing X, Y, Z. And we presented it to management and it was approved. So the money is there for us to give to you. So I don't think if you necessarily met all the criteria that you'll be denied of it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Yawandi. All right. If we if we are to dwell on answering questions, I don't think we'll get to leave this place today. It's already 1:25. All right, so I don't think we'll leave. So I'll just take one last question and we are done. All right, so this is for Debbie. How do you answer this question from an investor? Every business experiences setback at one point or the other. Haven't you had a business setback before? And how did you handle that? Make sure the person added for Debbie, please. So,
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So I remember mentioning that in your pitch, you just have to be genuine because these investors already know the market trends. So they know that there are times when sale is high, profits are coming in, there are times when it will not come in. So, but like you said, be positive, let them know how you handled it. And please, in telling them how you handled it, you have to be very wise. Because nobody wants to hear some things that when they hear it, they're wondering, really, that means no. So apply wisdom in all of that all that you say. Let them know that there was a particular year that you struggled. What they're interested in is how you bounced back, what you did in bouncing back. Let them know. But please ensure that what you're telling them is something that when they trace, they are able to see that it was true and that you were able to really handle it very well with your team, with all of the resources that you have. Let them know the exact thing that you did. So it's not out of place to let them know how you scaled through because they understand that there are times when things would go bad or very low. Thank you.
thank you very much, Debbie. So there's quite an interesting comment from Abigail. So Abigail Moses said, please, I don't know if She Ventures can do well to update their Instagram handle often. She Ventures has trained and supported women a lot, but their Instagram handle is not saying this thing. Please work on it. It discouraged when we invite people and they visit your handle to see. Okay, so thank you. This is this is actually a sweet compliment. Yes, we do a lot. My boss will always say we don't blow our whistles, but we are ready to blow our whistles. We just have a little hitches here and there, which will be resolved. But trust me, She Ventures is ready to blow its whistles. And once we've resolved all of the compliance issues, we will put on our bragging rights fully. So keep following, stay connected. We definitely would get to post everything we do. I don't even think we can post everything we do. Really, we do quite a lot. We just don't put it out there. But get ready to hear from us. We will disturb social media. Oh, don't worry. We will disturb social media. All right, I think we have come to the end of today's session. But before we leave Business Queens, I want us to say thank you together to our beautiful speakers, Yewande Bello and Deborah Boniface. Let's just say thank you, say something sweet, because really these speakers did an amazing job. They did. So let's say thank you. Let's appreciate them. We love them. Yeah, we love you, Deborah. We love you. And I know you forget your beautiful moderator. If I always forgetting Misha. For me, I'm giving myself my flowers.
Thank you, Pretty and amiable Mercy. Thank you for moderating the session as always. Thank you.
All right. So I also have parting words for you all, right? So from everything Deborah has said, from everything Yewande has said, a great business is not enough if you cannot communicate its value, right? Your next opportunity will come from an investor, a sponsor, a partner, a customer, even someone you meet unexpectedly. And when that opportunity comes, would you be ready to pitch? Right, so take what you've learned today and work on your pitch. Right, you cannot just overnight be at it. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. You have to practice it. Just write it down. She told you something earlier. She said, practice it. Use a mirror. Always practice how you how you sell your business. You might think you are ready for it till the opportunity actually presents itself. All right, so please practice it, simplify it, record yourself, listen to yourself after recording yourself, improve, practice again, don't stop practicing. All right, so that when the opportunity comes, you would be able to nail it. You were given 1 minute to pitch your business, but truthfully, nobody actually hit it on the nail. So please do well to put all of these things to practice. And about the slide and recording, I will be sharing the slide with you in the community. The recording will be available in a day or two. Latest by Monday, you'll get the recording links. But for now, do well to make use of the slides and endeavor to not miss out on our webinar. Someone was asking a question on publicity, how to make her business seen and all. I didn't read out that question because it's not in line with the topic for today. But I assure you, keep being connected, keep staying connected with She Ventures. We are going to be doing a webinar soon on that. We've done before, I think about 2 months ago, but with the Ember period around the corner, we'll definitely get to do others. So please stay connected so you don't miss out on that webinar and our subsequent webinars. So thank you so much for joining. My name is Mercy Nanklin Damar, and it has been a pleasure being your moderator for today. So see you at our next webinar session. So please join the community, please. My colleague has dropped the link in the chat box. Join the community. Emphasis on joining the community.
Thank you all for joining.
Send the link. Khadija, please keep sending the link so people can join. The link to the community, our Instagram handles. Please send. The email is sheventures@fcmb.com. sheventures@fcmb.com. Comfort, I didn't sing. Thank you, Elder Comfort. Thank you for always joining. Yeah, thank you for always joining. Thank you. Yewande, you are very beautiful. Chief Mrs. Buluru. I'm jealous right now. I am jealous. Chief Mrs. Buluru. So Yewande, you are very, emphasis on very. Oh, finally, I saw one. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Mercy. Yeah. Thank you. I feel humble. Thank you too. Mary Ade said, well done, great team. See that? You all are gorgeous. Oh, so someone here is jealous. So we have people playing the background, the person that has been responding to chat and all, Khadija Ibrahim. Khadija, you turn on your camera, let them see you too now. Khadija, turn on your camera, let us see you. To everybody that made this successful, thank you. Pitch your face, so thank you. So that's Khadija Ibrahim. So we'll be ending the session in 1 minute, less than a minute, by 1:35. Moderator, you didn't let me ask my question. Grace Yacht, I'm so sorry. Please drop your question in the community. I will pick your question and I'll send it, channel it to the appropriate speaker. Please, for speaker 1 or speaker 2, I will send it and then drop your response to you. Does that work? I'm so sorry. I didn't see. I had a lot of chats. I couldn't have read everything. And I apologize even before starting that I may be unable to read all questions. I'm sorry. So please drop your questions. Hope you've joined the community. So drop your questions in the community. I'll pick it up. All right. You are welcome. So sorry, Rebecca. So please drop your question. If your question wasn't read, please join the community and drop your question. So you can drop it in the community or you can drop us a DM on Instagram. We will pick your questions, please. We will. So drop your questions in the community. I will pick those questions and I'll provide answers to them. Thank you so much, everyone. It's 1:36. I kind of feel it would be rude to walk out on our attendees. So let's wait for the count to drop a bit, maybe to 100, and then we call it a day. Can I get a copy of the link, please? It's going to my business. A copy of the link. So yes, once you join the community, we will share the link when available. Currently, it is not available. We need to upload it on the platform. All right. So once it's available, we'll share the link to today's session in the community. You're welcome. You're welcome, Adele Fasilat. How do I join the community? We have been dropping the link in the chat box. Please scroll a bit. You will see the link. Khadija, please help us drop the link again. Oh, yes, you can share the link with other people. You can share the link to the community too. If you have people that have business accounts with us, you can share the link to the community with them so they can join. The more the merrier they see. And if I can tell where your investor, where your next opportunity can come from, all right? Someone in the community might just be that breakthrough your business actually needs. I'm beginning to think I'll do it as a motivational speaker. Okay, Aisha, thank you. Thank you. All right, I think at this point I'll need to call it a day. You people don't want to leave. If I don't leave, you people will not leave. So thank you so much for the massive turn up. Looking forward to having you in our next webinar. Bye.